Winston Churchill said, never give up. I noticed one of the comments we get very often on YouTube is one of my fans, one of my students, experiencing some kind of challenges, some kind of adversities, and they're asking me how they should overcome that. How do they stay calm in front of adversity? How do you overcome that? How do you not go crazy and get all frustrated? We're all human beings. So today I want to give you 3 tips what you could do, what you can do if you are facing adversity in your life. Tip number 1 is this. Whatever you're going through right now, I know may be very, very difficult. And it almost feels like the end of the world, in your only the world, right? In your only the world. I want you to imagine that you are now 3 years, 5 years, maybe even 10 years from today. And now you're looking back and what's happening right now. And you ask yourself some of these questions. Is this as bad as I thought it is? What can I learn from this? I know it's very difficult. You're saying, I not learn nothing from it. There's nothing I'm learning from this. No. What are some of the lessons you could take away? What are some of the value you can get from this, right? It's going to be the most difficult one. What could you be grateful for that this happened to you? And you're like, oh, come on, Dan, there's nothing to be grateful for. This accident happened, this emergency happened, or something tragic that just happened. Like, there's nothing that I could be grateful for. I know, but if there is something you could be grateful for, what could you be grateful for? Ask yourself those questions. Suddenly, that will give you perspective. And when you come back to reality, where you are now, you're looking at a scenario, okay, if it's 10 years from now, maybe it's not as bad. Imagine even things that happened to you in the past, the adversities that you experienced in the past. Think about that. It could be 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago. Back then, that felt like the end of the world. That felt like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you back then. Now, looking today, looking back then, how do you feel about those incidents? My bet is this: it is not as bad as you thought, and you learn a lot from it, and probably you find something that you could be grateful for. That adversity turns out to be one of the greatest things that's ever happened to you. Then maybe you make a career change, you start a business, you pivot, you do something different that led you to where you are today. Am I wrong? Number 2, second tip is this. When you're going through the adversities, when you're going through all these things, not only put some distance, but another thing that you could do is talk to someone that has already gone through that. One of the things that I'm very fortunate, because I have a lot of peers, very successful mentors, people around me, that whatever adversity, even today, that I experience, bad shit that happens, right? Which I still do, that, maybe like I would feel frustrated. I would feel like maybe I'm not so sure what to do. But I would talk to someone. They say talk to my mentor, and he would laugh and say, yep, I experienced that 30 years ago, 35 years ago, and here's what you need to do. And they would share with me my perspective. Suddenly, I don't feel so bad, because what happens is when you experience any kind of problem, any kind of adversity, you think you are the only one in the world that's experiencing this. Not true. I could tell you from experience, a lot of people have experienced the same things. You're much luckier. At least you have a YouTube channel that you could come visit and see and get information and get insights. I didn't have any of that back then. Number 3, your tribe, your community. It is so critical that when you are by yourself and you are trying to solve the problem alone, it's always very challenging. But if you could talk to other people, example within my High Ticket Closer community, that when one of my students is experiencing some adversity, maybe they're talking to an influencer or they're talking to a prospect, that, I'm not so sure what to do, they will go on to my High Ticket Closer community Facebook group, and they'll ask the question, hey, family, this is what I'm going through. I'm having some adversity, I'm having some challenges. How would you deal with this? And they will make a Facebook post and they will see 20, 30, 50 comments. All the closers, all my students who have solve similar problems, who have experienced this kind of adversities before. They would comment, hey, don't worry, this is what you should do. You should do this, you do that. And suddenly you can see the students like, okay, all right. So from there, it's much easier to lean on your tribe, lean on that community. If you don't have a community like that, you need to find yourself one. Online, offline, it doesn't matter. I cannot emphasize how important this is on your journey as an entrepreneur, as a closer, having that mentor, having that tribe, having that community that you can lean on is so critical. If you want to join our global community, maybe it's the High Ticket Closer family, maybe it's the Tu Byung Hwan family. If you want to be a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. We have such a powerful community. So click on the link here if you want to join our global community, or you just want to learn more about it. You want to see, oh, what is this about? What is it like to have a community that supports you, that share the same values and goals as you? Maybe your family doesn't fully support what you do or your goals, but you could have an online, a global community that understands you, who shares your vision, who are also going through the same journey, who is going places, who have the same, or on the same path. That changes everything.